Hello everyone, welcome to IPM IAS Academy's Daily News Highlights. Today is 31st of July 2024. If you have not yet subscribed this channel, please do subscribe the channel and enable the notification button so that you will get continuous updates regarding civil services examination and current affairs. So let's see what are the important news for today's discussion. 122 dead as landslides flatten Wayanad villages. A very sad news, a heartbreaking news for all of us. At least 122 persons were killed and 197 injured after multiple landslides flattened some 3 villages in Vaithiri Taluk of the hilly Wayanad district of Kerala early on Tuesday. In the context of this incident, we need to understand about how these landslides are happening, how these disasters are actually happening in our country, and also how our disaster management force is responding to it. Okay, what are the various policies and provisions related with the disaster management team and the policies, and what are the reasons for these kinds of disasters in our country. So basically the moving landmass roared over the devastated locality and plunged into the swollen river, changing its course and flooding neighboring localities. So that is what happened. So due to this landslide, the river has actually changed its course, and that affected the lives of many people who are living in that area. So what do you mean by this landslides? Landslides are geological phenomenon that involves a sudden and rapid movement of a mass of rock, soil or debris down a slope under the influence of gravity. Okay, so that's about the landslides. So there are various reasons for these landslides, and it is caused by factors such as heavy rainfall, earthquakes, volcanic activity and human activities like deforestation, construction, etc. These factors destabilizes the slopes and leading to the downward movement of the rock, soil and debris. Erosion, weathering and the geological composition of an area also contribute to these kinds of landslides. So right now we could see that it's a sudden movement and it's a rapid and sudden movement, so we won't be able to take necessary actions before that, and that is the reason why we have lost many lives in this particular incident. And in the context of this news, you also try to understand about the disaster management force and the details associated with it. We have a disaster management policy or an act, so read about that act also. So read this news and try to understand in which all areas you will experience these kinds of landslides, and what are the factors which are responsible for landslides, what are the different types of landslides. So all these information you need to understand based on this particular news. So this is coming in page number 1, General Studies 3, Disaster Management, and also in the part of Environment, Geography, etc. Manu makes it a pair, wins a bronze again in the company of Sarabjot. So Manu Bhaker will go into the Indian sporting legend as the first multiple medalist at an Olympic Games, winning a bronze medal in the 10-meter air pistol mixed team event on Tuesday. The history book will also read that her accomplishment would not have been possible without stellar supporting hand from her teammate Sarabjot Singh. So we know that Olympics is going on, the Paris Olympics 2024 is going on, and in that our Indian representative Manu has actually achieved 2 bronze medals, and that is a historic achievement also. With regard to this news, you need to understand about the Olympics 2024. The Summer Olympics, popularly known as the Paris Olympics 2024, started on 26th in Paris, in the capital city of France, with over 10,500 athletes from around the globe competing in 32 sports. The Paris Olympics 2024 will showcase exceptional talent from all over the world. The official mascot of 2024 Paris Olympics is the frigate, a representation of the Phrygian hats, a symbol of the liberty and allegorical figures of the French Republic. So that's a representation of the French Republic. The Paris Olympics 2024 mascot Friges embodies the spirit of revolution and freedom, serving as a reminder of the France's rich history. So we know that the mother of all revolutions is the French Revolution. So during the French Revolution, we could see that they have come up with certain slogans which is rooted in equality, liberty, fraternity, etc. So in the memory of that also, to commemorate that also, to commemorate the history of the France also, they are coming up with the Paris Olympics mascot, that is Frigis. So read this article and also try to understand about the other achievements that India have in the Olympics 2024, and read more about Olympics, the history of Olympics and all. It's very important. You need to understand about it. UP House passes bill to amend law against conversion. Okay, so here the important aspect is how a bill is actually passed in a legislative assembly. So here we are talking about Uttar Pradesh House. The Uttar Pradesh Vidhan Sabha on Tuesday passed the Uttar Pradesh Prohibition of Unlawful Conversion of Religion Amendment Bill 2024, making the law stricter by providing for a maximum punishment of life imprisonment for those found guilty of marrying a woman by deceiving her and illegally converting her religion. So basically this bill is against the conversion, the forced conversion. So what is the process involved in passing a bill in the legislative assembly is the important aspect here. So read about this particular article and also try to understand about how the bills are passed in legislative assembly and also in the parliament. This is coming in page number 2, General Studies 2, Indian Polity. 68 schools in protected areas, reports Assam government. A total of 68 primary schools have been set up in a wildlife sanctuary and an adjoining reserve forest of the Assam Forest Department has already told the National Green Tribunal. So basically that is the existence of 68 educational institutions in the protected areas. So here what you need to understand, or what you need to focus on, you need to understand about what is this protected area. What do you mean by a national park? What do you mean by a wildlife sanctuary? What do you mean by a reserve forest? What do you mean by a biosphere reserve? So these points you need to understand. The objective of all these things is to protect the flora and fauna, the biodiversity in our country. That is the objective. But all these have their own special characteristics. So read about those things. And apart from that, also read about the National Green Tribunal. Okay, NGT. We have already done a video on National Green Tribunal, and I will be adding that link in the description so that you can watch the video and understand more about it. So the detail of the news is like many of these schools in the Sonai Rupai Wildlife Sanctuary and the Chardwar Reserve Forest of North Central Assam, Sonitpur district are covered by Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, the center's flagship program for elementary education. So it's a very crucial issue that we need to address. And in the context of this particular news, they are also talking about some legislations, the legislations that are actually connected with the Scheduled Tribes and other Traditional Forest Dwellers Recognition of Forest Act 2006. So read that act also. What are the major features of this act and how they are giving these rights to the scheduled tribes and the other forest dwellers. According to this particular affidavit, 50,241 hectares out of the total of 73,524.86 hectares across the 5 protected areas are under encroachment since late 1990s, inhabited by more than 3 lakh people from the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and backward classes. The forest area under encroachment works out to 68.33%. So it's a very crucial thing that we need to address. Why? Because one thing is like it's a encroachment. They are saying that it's an encroachment. And another thing is like we need to find solution for this. Okay, we need to provide necessary condition for their living. So all these points are coming into picture when you are reading this article. So read this article and understand those key terms I already mentioned to you. This particular article is coming in page number 2, General Studies 3, Environment. India's open ecosystems facing an unusual threat, encroaching trees. So the crux or the essence of this article is, we always consider trees as a symbol of our biodiversity protection, right? When you are actually growing the trees, when the number of trees increases, our biodiversity is protected, and that will actually contribute to to resolving the climate change issues, etc. This is our perception. But you need to understand that we have different types of ecosystems in the world. So one type of an ecosystem is like the savanna or the open grasslands are an ecosystem. In such an ecosystem, you will be able to see certain birds, some animals, etc. So what will happen if that ecosystem is threatened? So the growth of the trees is also a problem for such an area, because that is an open land or a grassland area. So in that, if the number of trees increases, the nature of the ecosystem itself changes, right? And that will threaten the lives of the animals and the birds who are living in that area. Okay, so that is the crux or the essence of this particular article. So read this article, you will get multiple perceptions regarding the ecosystem and the threats associated with various ecosystem. So here they are mentioning about the savanna, African savanna, or the grasslands. It's a type of a natural vegetation you can see. And what is the savanna? What are the features of savanna? The scientists have reported that more trees in open ecosystems like savannas and grasslands have reduced the number of native birds in the African savanna. In particular, the population of grassland birds has declined by more than 20%. So which means the ecosystem nature has changed. So that is not suitable for those birds right now. That is why they are leaving that particular place. So here in this article, they are trying to address the issues connected with India. So read this article and understand more about it. Climate change is an issue, and the human hand, the human invasion or human activities in these areas is another important issue. And the most important issue they are addressing here is the invasion by trees. Okay, so trees, when it is coming to the grassland area, it is actually affecting the ecosystem of that area. So this is about this particular article. So page number 7, environmental studies 3, you will be able to see this, and you can say that this can be associated with environment, science and technology, etc. A license Raj for digital content creators. Okay, in important news. Why? Because the recent elections, we could see that the election results were influenced by some of the social media influencers. So what will happen if the voting behavior is influenced by the social media influencers, and if it is negatively affecting a particular party, then definitely they will be able to take certain restrictive measures against them, right? So here we are talking about the license Raj, or the restrictions which are imposed on social media and the social media influencers through the act, which is the Broadcasting Services Regulation Bill 2024. It is important to control fake news and other things which are actually harmful for the society. But on the other hand, we should also take into consideration the freedom of expression, and the freedom of speech and expression should not be curtailed. Okay, so that is what is actually highlighted in this particular article. And the article also talks about certain statistics in which the percentage of people who are influenced through various platforms, television channels, or social media platforms, or even social media platforms itself, the Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, how they are actually influenced, and the role of newspaper and radio, how it is actually going down. All those points are discussed in this particular article. So read this article and try to have an idea about certain legislations which are mentioned in this article, and especially the Broadcasting Services Regulation Bill 2023. And they also mention about certain departments and certain ministries also who are involved in this particular process. So read about it and try to understand more about it. It is coming in page number 8. Okay, General Studies 2, Indian Polity. So you will be able to see that it is a part of Indian polity. Option or stratagem. The court should limit governor's power to refer bills to president without cause. So we have already discussed this particular news. It is regarding the power or the right of the governor to reserve the bills for presidential assent. And sometimes on certain bills there is no action is actually taken. The manner in which some governors have been dealing with the legislation passed by the state legislatures is a travesty of the constitution. So that is a crucial thing. We are living in a democratic country, and in a democratic country the voice of the elected representatives are really important. So when the voice of elected representatives are actually suppressed by the actions of the governor, then who will come for the rescue of that? The Supreme Court or the judiciary will come for the rescue of that. So here are certain suggestions made by the judiciary is mentioned in this. The crucial aspect here is which is the article that is actually dealing with the power of governor to reserve the bill for presidential assent. Article 200 provides that when a bill passed by the state legislature, the governor shall declare that he reserves the bill for president's consideration. And there are many other rights the governor is actually possessing, but we are only mentioning about the power to reserve this bill for presidential consideration. If the governor reserves a bill for president's consideration, the enactment of the bill then depends on the assent or refusal of assent by the president. Okay, so this is the crucial aspect regarding this particular article. So read this article, understand more about the legislation process in a state legislative assembly, and what will happen the bill reaches the governor, what all actions the governor can actually take, and if the governor is taking an action like reserving the bill for presidential assent, and what are the after effects of that. So read this article and try to understand more about it, and also the intervention of the judiciary in the legislative aspects. The different armed groups of Myanmar. So this particular article mainly discusses about how the military is losing its control in the Myanmar region, and the emergence of various armed groups in the region, especially the ethnic armed organizations, how their role is actually increasing in this country, and what are the things that are actually contributing to the instability in the region. All those points are actually mentioned here, and they have clearly mentioned in which all areas these armed ethnic organizations are having a control. So all those points are mentioned here. So please read this article, and towards the end you will also understand how India can contribute to this, how India can give a proper solution for this. All those points are discussed in this article, and it is coming in page number 10, General Studies 2 and International Relations. So these are the important aspects regarding today's daily news highlights. So an important announcement regarding guided PCM course 2025 prelims and mains coaching. Please do take the scholarship test link there in the description. Click on the link below and take the scholarship test so that you will get a lot of reduction in your fee. And these are the features of the guided PCM course, and it is highly ideal for students, working professionals, and passionate IAS aspirants. An important aspect is the program is available for 6 months and also for 1 year. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful for you in your civil service preparation. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel, and enable the bell icon also.